It's Saturday night, the 19th of November. Sunset, it's 5 o'clock. It won't get dark until about 6. And I have spent the last hour learning that even though the Losmandy G11 controller will store all your information about your location and time, that doesn't mean the battery is working properly. So I had to go inside the cover and replace the nickel-sized battery inside the controller unit before I could get it to properly navigate, to do pole flips, to not find targets unreachable errors. That was my guess that it would be, and as it turned out to be that, I'm very pleased, but it was quite an exhaustive process. It's very cold out. It must be 25 degrees. Last night I toured around a number of galaxies on the Great Square of Pegasus. Unfortunately, the mount was not tracking properly and aligning properly on Go 2, so I was seeing galaxies other than I expected when I was navigating. So right now what I've got is a pretty good alignment. That's Algenib. I just did an alignment to the west between Altair and Ras El Gethi, and on returning to the east, wow, the alignment's quite good. So I'm hoping that I will actually track down the right galaxies. There must be far more galaxies in the Great Square area than I was aware of, because I was finding galaxies last night. They just weren't the ones I was looking for. And once again, we have a Jupiter, not a very sharp image of the handheld, and in about an hour I should be able to get a start on the Great Square Galaxies of Pegasus. It's now 5:45. Here's a quick look at our baseline galaxy, M110 in the Andromeda Galaxy family group. Looks pretty good. I'd say Skydark has arrived. I've noticed the Milky Way beginning to emerge overhead towards in Cassiopeia, etc. I did go about the process of replacing the battery, as I may have mentioned earlier, and now I seem to be able to get really decent alignment. So hopefully whatever galaxies we turn up this evening on this tour will actually be the ones that we were hoping for. First study of the evening is NGC 7448, a galaxy in Pegasus, magnitude 11.7, 2.6 by 1.2 arc minutes. It's a spiral galaxy, 101 million light years distant. And here's our view. A little off-centered. I'm going to have to redo the tracking for greater accuracy tomorrow for Go 2. I think I've seen a better view of this on previous nights. But we got to start somewhere with these, so there we go. Here we have NGC 7625, another galaxy in Pegasus, magnitude 12.1. 1.6 by 1.6 arc minutes, which basically means it's a face-on spiral, 72 million light years distant. And there's our look. We're now off to NGC 7678, 11.8 magnitude galaxy, slightly oblate at 2.5 by 1.7 arc minutes. It's a BC spiral, 160 million light years distant. And there's our look right between that triangle of 3 stars. Seven 7741 is another spiral galaxy, NGC class, BC spiral, 39 million light years away, fairly large at 4.5 by 2.9 arc minutes, magnitude 11.3.
It's got a diffuse glow to it, as you can see. Near a brightish star. Seems like it's mostly extended from about the 11:30 to 5:30 position, as I can tell from the camera. A good look. But diffuse.
Our next galaxy actually are two on the screen, but it's the lower one we're going to look at. I believe the upper one is 7771, but we'll tune into that after we have a look at NGC 7769. Magnitude 12, face-on spiral, 1.6 by 1.6 arc minutes, 190 million light years distant. Let's have a look.
Well, you can see both galaxies in there. One's a more oblate spiral with extensions, the other's a face-on, mostly the core of the galaxy. No wispy extensions visible to my eye. There's our look.
In progressing to 7771, I decided, hey, there's a 7770. Let's see how far it goes. Now, this may be the faintest galaxy we will vision tonight, magnitude 13.8, less than 1 arc minute in size. It's an A-class spiral at 186 million light years. Let's see how far we make a jump to make sure that this one may be near them. We're going to follow this jump here.
It's not going far, is it? I'm seeing a galaxy up there, but that's the edge on. So we actually did end up centering the spiral galaxy. It's hard to believe that's magnitude 13.9 though. So that is, however, it may have a faint companion, what I would call the 4 o'clock position from the brighter edge-on spiral. And that may very well be the 7770. If you can make it out on the screen. Let's go to 7771 and see what happens.
Just our hypothesis here. 7771 is a 12.3 magnitude galaxy, 2.4 by 1.1 arc minutes, so it would be a spiral, 191 million light years distant, and it would be slightly tilted away from us, so I suspect that is the spiral galaxy.
And we did not make much of a jump. Slightly. There may be other galaxies in the screen, so it is a galaxy group. I'd have to check the distances to each one, but certainly it's a line of sight galaxy group. So that sort of edge-on spiral with a couple of nodes of brightness, a brighter and fainter one, is our 7771.
NGC 7814 is the brightest galaxy of the evening at magnitude 10.6 and largest, 4.7 by 2.4 arc minutes. It's an AB spiral, 47 million light years distant. And here's
our view. Keep it above the band, Jeff. I'm seeing a star trail or something bleeding off on the screen, persistent. Let's give it a moment to see if this image will fully assemble. Brilliant galaxy. Still several magnitudes fainter and much smaller than M110, which we'll have another look at in a few minutes as I wrap up the Great Square of Pegasus.
Off to NGC 23. So we flipped across the right ascension meridian. We're now in the lower ordered numbers. This 23 is also in Pegasus. It's magnitude 12, 2.5 by 1.6 arc minutes, a BA spiral, 206 million light years distant, and
It is very peculiar. I'm seeing a very brilliant core to this galaxy, and then I'm seeing a fainter nebulosity to about the 130 position. Probably two separate galaxies, but what I'll do is I'll progress to the next and see if that is included as a separate galaxy or whether there's some peculiarity about number 23.
interest by going to NGC 24. There's a very large galaxy there, 26 million, fairly bright, so this is not the one we're looking for. So this small galaxy, which may be neighboring 23, is not included on Dreyer's list of NGCs, that I can tell, because it would be the next numeration. However, it might be a 22, and I will check that briefly. NGC 22 galaxy in Pegasus. It's about the right size and brightness, magnitude 13.6, 1.7 by 1.3, some 371 million light years distant. So we'll pop it and see if there's any motion.
I know we did move quite a ways. So it's not likely to be that accompanying nebulosity. But let's have a look. It's probably close to the Great Square because it didn't move that far. And the image is taking quite a while to assemble before revealing itself. Let's give it a chance to form. It is faint. It's to be found anywhere without disturbing the scope. It's this baby right here at the tip of my finger. Oh, we just added another one to the list, right in and around the Great Square of Pegasus. NGC 22. Yeah, it's got core and extension, and it's really faint, so that was a nice one, nice find.
Well, the last on my list for tonight is just over the border from Pegasus into Andromeda, NGC 76. Faint, magnitude 13, roughly 1 arc minute by 1 arc minute point 0.9. It's considered compact, 329 million light years distant. So this is more than halfway the most distant galaxies that I've imaged in the past. We're getting, must be some motion on my part because we're getting comatose here. Remember, this is supposed to be more or less 1 arc minute in size. We're going to have to give this baby a chance to form, but I think I see where it is forming. Once again, down near the bottom of the screen, because Go2 isn't being very accurate tonight, I'm going to have to redo it next outing. But yeah, I suspect that's our galaxy down there. But with all those comatose ones, it's hard to say. Try to be still. Except for the found galaxies we got this evening, I pulled them out of the Astrodog Geekjoy
a deep sky atlas. And that atlas is something we published 15 years ago or so. And in it, I found as many studies that could be calculatable that could be found through a 6-inch scope, although some of them gave best views through 12-inch scopes. And so anybody who gets that particular deep sky atlas should be able to get good views of everything in it with a 12-inch and find it with a 6. Each study is labeled by aperture in centimeters to give you what is called the optimal smaller scope that can give you a good view. And that's the best view we're going to get of NGC 76 for the evening. Okay, I'm going to recap NGC 7448. I've had better views of it. I'm a little disappointed tonight's view because I really could see the spiral extensions going off, roughly to the left and the right. But what I wanted to do was check to see if there's been any improvement in the conditions. This is an awkward position to put the camera on. Well, this is going to be our Carpe Noctem view of Messier 110. It's kind of a bellwether of the night sky. If you can see the extensions going off to the 7:30 and 1:30 positions, then you know you're having really good seeing. If all you're seeing is that core there, which is all I'm seeing from my angle, then the seeing is suboptimal. Shifting my head around, there are hints, but I haven't allowed the image to fully form yet. You can see the commentary figures on there from my motion. Beginning to see the extensions. Basically, the galaxy is very reasonably large. It takes up about, I'm shifting around, it takes about maybe 1/3 to 1/4 of the whole field. And you see the extensions going off to the 7:30 position and back across to 1:30. A lot of it depends on how I hold the camera, however, whether you can see it or not. But that is our Carpe Noctem view right there. For Saturday night, 25 degrees or less, and I am feeling it. So, Carpe Noctem.